Let's go, baby.
Off the turn, they're 3 wide.
Battle for the lead as Hickok gets out of shape.
Bottom shot, 3 wide.
He takes the lead back. Dynamite Racing.
Welcome everyone to Stafford Speedway as we prepare for the final Open Modified 80-lap event of the year for the Stafford Open Modifieds in the Lincoln Tech Open 80. This pit preview will focus on all the Open Modified stars, so we're going to talk to several of them as they prepare for tonight's event.
Well, Bonds, it's a lot nicer when Kyle's not here. At least, you know, he's a big wig now. He's got his big job out in Watkins, so hopefully he's having fun out there. But the 10A program's been awesome. I mean, I got to say, hats off to the whole Keith Rocco Racing, Jeff Rocco, and Dan Avery for, you know, giving me this piece to drive. It's fantastic. It really is. But a lot of hard work goes into it. So, well, from before the pit stop, I needed a lot. After the pit stop, we found a lot of things that fixed that race car. So hopefully they will attribute to here. We did try some more stuff when Jeff Rocco was running at Waterford last week. A lot of what we learned there should help us out here too. So I think we got a good shot. We'll just have to see how practice goes and the heat races, and I guess 80 laps will tell the story. I think it'll be all right. I mean, obviously you're going to lose a little bit of rubber from the last couple of weeks with, I mean, I don't know about here, but we had torrential downpours at my house, and I swear we had like a thunder that lasted 30 seconds. I thought someone was trying to drive through my garage, but I think it'll be all right. We'll get some rubber down in practice and heat races, and I mean, there's not much we can do about it, so we're just gonna have to adapt and see what we got.
So we've been pretty good. We've been struggling a little bit here. We actually have brought back Stash Batova this week, the crew chief for us. We were doing it on our own at the beginning of the year, and you know, we were good. We were hanging around the top 5, but we were just lacking that little bit we needed to win. And I think with Stash on board, just takes the pressure off of me of having to make the adjustment calls on pit road, and it allows me to focus a little better on just the racing. And then me and Stash have always had a good relationship, and we work well together, so hopefully that's the missing puzzle piece we needed the past couple races. We wanted to do something different. We knew we weren't going to win with the way the car was handling. We wanted to be able to have some time to make some adjustments, and with how competitive the pit stops are here, you don't really have many. You don't have a lot of time to do adjustments on the competitive pit stops here, so we wanted to come in early, make adjustments, and throw the tires on. We got the adjustments pretty good. We were able to hold on to the lead for 10 or so laps, and it wasn't quite there. And I think the cautions didn't fly out perfectly, where we started to get too many laps on the tires before the other guys. I don't think, if our car is balanced, I don't think you're gonna see a short pit stop this time. But if we're hanging out in the middle of the pack and we need a little jump start in the race, then I wouldn't be surprised if we come down again.
Really just consistently, you know, maintenance, consistently doing the same thing week in and week out. This car's been so awesome through Stephen Kopchik and Glenn Jensen and the Jensen family, you know, getting it tip-top shape, right, for Stafford and all these races that we're doing this year. So, you know, just we keep coming here, you know, once a month, and it's been a little rocky. 3 finishes, 2 DNFs, unfortunately, but you know, that happens. We clicked off our first podium here 2 months ago. Had a solid run. That's Sizzler. So hopefully just carry the momentum. That night we had a good pit stop. I think, personally, I saved my tires a little bit too much. And I think that set us back because we came in 12th for a pit stop and gained a lot of spots, but still we came out 6th or 7th. So I think just the key for tonight is just to get as many spots as we can at the start of the race, and then we'll come in up front for a pit stop and hopefully race our way past the leaders and win one of these things.
Well, obviously we're looking for our first victory in a long time. You know, we put so much effort into every race we come to, especially Stafford, you know, being my home track and all that. So, you know, it's just been so long, you know. I've missed it. I want to be back in victory lane, so that's what we're chasing. Yeah, it seems like after a pit stop, we just get too tight, and that's what's been hurting us. You know, we've been good on the first run, but as soon as we put tires on, it's been too tight. So that's you know, I have some stuff to combat that today, and hopefully it'll work.
I felt like we were good. You know, unfortunately, we had a muffler fall off, and we weren't able to complete the race, but I felt like we were competitive and would have had a shot to, you know, finish in the top 3. I don't know if we would have won the race, but you know, we'll never know. The car felt good, though. I was happy with the speed we had all day there, and I'm expecting something similar, maybe a little bit better tonight. I don't think it'll make anybody race any differently at the end, but it'll certainly make you feel better leaving here knowing that you got a front row starting spot at the fall final. So I almost said the Sizzler. It's like that kind of weather out here today.
Really just, you know, really understanding the car. We're going to blow away here. Just got to really understand the car, you know what you're working on. I mean, working on it really helps, and being around it a lot. You know, I worked with Steven Kopchik and stuff with his open cars and everything, and I learned a lot. And then, you know, moving into my own car last year, you know, we had a good piece, and thing rolled. So, I mean, the big difference is that it just goes faster, so that's about it. Just definitely, you know, the defensive line. I mean, I really haven't been on the defensive side of it. I mean, I did lead a bunch of laps last race, but we were pretty checked out. We're just conserving tires, and I'm sure he was too. But he had the better pit stop, and he got in front of us, and, you know, he's raced here a lot. So, you know, I learned a lot from that race, and hopefully, you know, maybe he'll be in front of me again, and I can try my offensive beating. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight no matter what happens, and we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, we've been fast. Just not as fast as we were last year, so we're still trying to tune on it. I'm confident in my guys. Adam continues to work hard, and it's just a matter of time. So we were really good last year at the beginning of the year. We kind of felt like we fell off, so maybe this year we'll struggle a little bit at the beginning, and we'll come on strong for this last race and then the fall final. I don't think it's helped or hurt. It's just racing's fun again. Coming to the racetrack once every week, or not once every week, once every 2 weeks, and just doing like the tri-track and open, and it's much more relaxing. There's not as much pressure as this weekly Friday night stuff. It's been doing it for a long time, so to come here, have some more personal time with the kid and my wife, and then coming here knowing that we're going to be fast has been fun.
5-car was good. I think we finished 4th. It was pretty good all night. It's been pretty good all year. The 75 will be back. Getting that wreck in the duel with the Sizzler. I got to get her fixed, and she'll be back out either before the end of this year or beginning of next year. Got to catch the 88. Have to catch Georgie. It's going really, really good in the 1 car, and Cipriano, I think, Hodgson finished in front of me last time. So, you know, they're all going to be tough again tonight. Hopefully we could be a little bit tighter, a little more forward drive, and see what we got.
Yeah, actually one of my biggest sponsors, Dependable Energy, Glenn Noble and his family. He came on board a couple years ago when I was driving for Bob Horn, and came on, just started as a sponsor, and we had a conversation last summer about, you know, maybe doing something on our own, and in December decided we were going to go through with it and try to put a pretty low-key schedule together for this year, and purchased a car in December and built a team over 4 or 5 months, and showed up here in May for our first race. So it's been a pretty quick ride, but a lot of fun, and we've ran well everywhere so far. We still have some work to do, I think, to win races, but we're having a lot of fun, and it's been just a great ride so far. I can't thank, like I said, Glenn and his family enough, and everybody at Dependable Energy for everything they've done. We just need the car to go the whole race. We need to figure out what it needed after pit stops, and we've learned a little bit. We've only run the car 4 times this year, so most guys have that in their first month of racing. We have that, and it's August. So I think as we get more time with this thing, we're going to figure out exactly what it wants, and we're going to be good.
I think it was just more of the fact that it came out on such a big night. You know, obviously it was my birthday. I had no idea throughout the day that my kids and my wife were coming, and it had been 3 years since I had the kids in Victory Lane, and Bryce hadn't been even born at that time, and that was at Thompson. So just between that and then, you know, a couple days past that was my 1-year anniversary of losing my father, and just the year that we had, it just felt like I had an extra motivation on my mind not so much pressure, but more motivation to just try to get it done and get into victory lane and just have that picture, just have that memory of having my wife and my kids in victory lane. I see a lot of group text messages with Bobby and the kids in victory lane, and obviously he races a lot more than I do. And I mean, it's his job, he does it for a living, so he has a little bit more of an opportunity and stuff. So I get it, where it's more for me right now, it's just more of to have fun, and that's what we're doing. We have a great group of guys, we have a great car owner, great sponsors, and we just come down here and have a blast and try to put it in victory lane at the end of the night. Just got back to the basics, we kind of went back to where we were at the Sizzler. After the Sizzler, we struggled. We still finished third, but we struggled. And then the next Open 80, I think we were really not that good. We tried something and it backfired, and we actually changed it on pit row. So when we came back for my birthday, even Cam said, he's like, we got to get you that win on your birthday, and we're just going right back to the basics, right back to how it was at the Sizzler, and you let me know how it feels. And I just concentrated on giving him the best feedback that I could throughout the day. And I mean, we were still a little bit off during the race. Obviously, Georgie was really good. He was rolling the center a lot better than I was, but just the old timer was able to use his seat time to perfection that day and get the job done and get in the victory lane. So again, we're going to try something here in practice to see what it does, and if it don't work, then we're going right back to what we know, and hopefully we'll be there at the end tonight.
I got the call 2 weeks ago that we're going to run it. I think, there's a little bit of promotion for the fall final, so maybe that's Tommy's thinking there. But, shout out to Tommy for, bringing me here. We haven't been here all year, and we've had success. Only got one win, so I really want to get back in victory lane. It seems like we've gotten, bad luck for one reason or another every time we come out here to Stafford with this thing, but maybe this old school car, made after Tommy's old man will give us better luck. So that's the plan. We race until 40 and then, make our pit stop and go from there. Nothing's really changed in that sense. It's like 2 SK mod races. Just kill it for 40, then kill it for 40 more.
Well, that'll do it for today's pit preview, as it's time to go racing with the Lincoln Tech Open Modified 80, and Ben Dodge is on the call for the action.
Well, there's no question about it. We are in for an incredible night of competition. We've heard the stories from behind the scenes. We've taken a look at practice. We know who was at top of the charts, and we know who was struggling. But now it's all going to be put to the test. Tonight, a big night here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. It's Lincoln Tech Open Modified 80 night, and 132 of the top modifieds and full-bodied cars are assembled in the pit area for tonight's presentation. And there's no question about it. Qualifying is just around the corner, and backstage, every crew member who's working on an open tour type modified is looking for that edge, that little bit of extra that'll provide them with some of the magic that they need to get to the winner's circle. And Bonza, this event is a very special event, and Michael Christopher touched upon that because what makes it so unique is the fact that it is, well, we'll call it a stepping stone to what we refer to as the big event, the fall final here at Stafford.
Yes, the top 2 finishers from tonight's Lincoln Tech Open 80 will be the top 2 qualifiers for the 50th running of the Napa Fall Final this upcoming September. So with all these good cars we have, and we know the fall final is going to bring a lot of good modifieds. Track position is so important because all these cars are so close together when it comes to time. It's so hard to make your way through the field. What better way to get a head start on September by getting a guaranteed spot in the front row tonight?
We also want to mention that one of our drivers touched upon it in our opening interview. He said, and it was Eric Goodale who said, this is a day like we will expect the fall final to be. They're talking about temperature-wise. They're talking about conditions changing. So there's a lot of side stories to this one. But we know the big story for a lot of folks is to be in victory lane. Now, Lincoln Tech has been a big supporter of racing action here at the Speedway for many, many a season. And Lincoln Tech, of course, is the big event sponsor for tonight's event. We remind you that they offer a curriculum in automotive, collision, diesel, electric, HVAC welding, and Audi Auto. Lincoln Tech is located on 97 Newberry Road in East Windsor, Connecticut. Their state-of-the-art facility is far none to the best in the country. And if you haven't already had the opportunity, what everybody's been looking forward to, they saw it in the pit area, is the championship belt, the throwdown belt, like you see in big-time wrestling.
Yes, in WWE.
Handmade to perfection, and each and every one of these drivers is going to be receiving a commemorative special silver medallion that says they are among the very best. And speaking of the very best, open modified round number 1 comes rumbling onto the racetrack, and here's Bonzatufa with the starting lineup.
Starting on the pole is a newcomer this year to Stafford in the 14 New Jersey. He is from Jackson, New Jersey, sponsored by Atlantic Sprinkler Corporation, Blake Barney.
Moving to the outside of row number 1, it is the 137 Gas Incorporated car. From Brewster, Massachusetts, on the Cape, car number 45 for Brett Meservey.
Starting third is the 21 car, Old Art Berries modified. From Griswold, Connecticut, sponsored by Wood Mancy Farms and Preston's Friends of Art, it's Tyler Berry.
Here's the big dog, the guy to beat, the Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair. Number 88 from Bellingham, Massachusetts, it's Woody Pitcat.
Starting on the inside of row 3 is car number 3 from Moodus, Connecticut. AAA Consulting LLC gives us Matt Galco.
In the 6th starting spot, it'll be car number 1B. This will be the 1B, the superior refinishing car from Danbury, Connecticut for George Bissett Jr.
Starting 7th from right here in Stafford Springs, sponsored by A&D Portable Rentals LLC, car number 33 for Austin Bissett.
Then it's Joey Muchacharo, the Mooch from Walcott, Connecticut, car 47, starting 8th on the grid.
Rounding out the 9-car field is the Empower Financial Advisory 50 car from Ellington, Connecticut. It's Ronnie Williams.
And Tyler Berry selects to drop to the rear of the field with car number 21. Incidentally, that car is his grandfather's car, so there is more than just to get to the front of the field. There's a lot of history there as well. Blake Barney, a standout on the New Jersey circuits at Wall Stadium. To the inside of the front row, Brett Meservey, legendary third-generation driver, to the outside. They come rumbling off turn number 4. The green is out. They are wheel-to-wheel and side-by-side to the bottom of turn number 1.
Barney on the inside gets the run into turn 1 and clears the field out in front, but not for long. Here comes Woody Pitcat in the 88 underneath the leader.
He puts the Cam McDermott machine to the bottom. Car number 88. The Dunleavy Truck and Trailers machine is trucking off turn number 4. Leader in lap number 1 becomes car number 88. Side by side, bid for the 3rd and the 4th position. Here comes that car working its magic in the inside lane. What's it going to be as they work back to the line? Matty Galco said he needs a little luck, Bonza. I think he's found some as he moves into the 3rd spot.
After starting 5th, Galco quickly moves up a couple spots, but he's not quite clear of Mr. Meservey coming off of 2. Now he is. George Bissett Jr. and the Ted Anderson number 1 now takes a look underneath the 45. That's a battle for 4th.
Bissett makes a bid to the bottom. Neon yellow colored car as it works its magic to the inside. Here comes the Mooch, Joey Muchacharo. Red number 47 car. Remember, the number is 5. Currently setting in the 5th spot. And on the outside lane and struggling, it is Dan Meservey. Meservey up the hill. Here comes Joey Muchacharo. 5 is the magic number here.
Blake Barney slid up the track in 3 and 4 and lost the spot to Bissett. A lap before that, Ronnie Williams had a big moment in turn 1, had to save the car and lost a bit of ground. Muchacharo moves up to 5th. Brett Meservey 6th, and Ronnie Williams now pulls up in 7th.
Remember, we're using the USAC system. You have to pass more cars if you want to end up to the front of the field. The advantage is starting in the back and working and threading your needle to the front. That is what Ronnie Williams is doing. Williams is 2 spots away. He sets his sights on Meservey. Bull move to the inside. 2 blue and black cars are side by side as they come off the turn. Battle is for 6 as they cross the line.
Got a couple red cars in front of them, battling and banging Nerf bars in 1 and 2. Muchacharo moved to the inside of Barney, takes the 4th spot. Now Williams takes his turn underneath that red 14 in a battle for the final transfer spot.
Williams has picked up more positions than anyone else in the field. He's not done yet. He moves to the inside. Barney, once the pole center of the event, now finds himself out of the top 5. Back up front, Pitcat is still the leader. Running in his tire tracks is Matty Galco, the black number 3 car. Then setting in third is Bissett. Then we've got a gap. And then the 4th and 5th position with Muchacharo setting in position number 4. But Williams is reeling him in. Turn 2.
Less than 2 laps to go in this one. Ronnie Williams started in last, 9th spot. He's moved up to 5th. Muchacharo started 8th. He's up to 4th. So both drivers have gained 4 spots from where they started, but Williams is looking to change that as the white flag waves.
Final circuit around. Woody Pitcat's got the field covered. The Dunleavy truck, Cam McDermott prepared car, is out in front. Last circuit by a time of 18.827. Off turn number 4, it is Woody Pitcat to take down the win. Matty Galco to finish in 2nd. George Bissett will finish in 3rd. Joey Muchacharo to finish in 4th, and Ronnie Williams for 5. The big movers and shakers are Joey Muchacharo and Ronnie Williams as we rounded out the top 5, but there was still more left in that didn't make it in the handicap.
Correct. Brett Meservey finishes 6th. Blake Barney, who started on the pole, falls back to 7th. Austin Bissett finishes 8th, and Tyler Berry rounds out the 9-car field. As you mentioned, Muchacharo and Williams each gained 4 spots from where they started. That's critical when it comes to where you start for the feature. So both cars look good, especially Muchacharo. We haven't seen him much this year, but that car looked pretty stout so far.
He certainly did, and Ronnie Williams said that Adam Scavora has been looking for the magic, and I think he found a little piece of the puzzle in that qualifying round. Second qualifier, Chris Pastriak, the Dolly's Automotive Machine. Car number 5, Connecticut, out of Lisbon, Connecticut, will be starting on the inside of the front row.
Starting on the outside of row 1 is the 179 Avenue Auto Waterbury Machine. From Newtown, Connecticut, it's Anthony Bello.
Row number 2 to the inside, starting position number 3. The Fueled Up Motorsports Bass Plating Machine. From Plymouth, Connecticut, keep your eyes on car 51, Joey Cipriano.
Starting 4th is the number 31 car. He is from Southold, New York. It's Andrew Sharon.
In the 5th starting spot, the Deuce is Wild, car number 2. The FL Quinn construction car from Wethersfield, Connecticut, Frank Latois Jr.
Starting in the 6th position, outside of row 3, is one of our winners this year from Riverhead, New York, in the GAF Roofing 58. It's Eric Goodale.
Lucky starting position number 7, the Cape Towing and Salvage Machine. From Woodstock, Connecticut, car number 28 for Buddy Charette.
On the outside of row 4 is the number 10 car. From Seymour, Connecticut, sponsored by Anglace Racing Enterprises, it's Vinny Anglace.
This car had no practice today. The Wannick Construction Machine. Tommy Wannick owns the car. From Newtown, Connecticut, the very talented crew chief and driver, Stephen Kopsick, is scheduled to start scratch. No laps on car number 1, but we all know that Stephen Kopsick has some magic here at this half-mile facility. Field is set. Field is told to cross over as they come off turn number 4. If you've just joined us, this is Lincoln Tech Night here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. 2x2, they head for qualifying round number 2. This, as we mentioned, is the USAC handicap chart, which simply means you have to pass more cars in order to start up front in the main event for competition. However, it's crucial to be among the top 5 positions. Here is Bonzatufa as we look the field over heading in turn 3.
Stephen Kopsick has had a fast car this season when he's driving that Wannick number 1. We'll see what he can do from all the way back in 9th. As you mentioned, passing cars is paramount. Green flag is in the air, and Anthony Bello gets a great start, but it might have been too good of a start as they head to turn 1, and the yellow is out.
It is a callback, a redo as the field now tightens back up, paired off in rows of 2. Chris Pastriak, position number 1, which means simply that he determines the pace of the start. The starting box is in turn number 4. You see the 2 white lines. They have to fire in that location. Let's see what's going to happen this time. Will it be deja vu? And it looks good as they rumble down into turn number 1. Point of the arrow becomes car number 5, Pastriak. The blue automobile out in front, but here comes Joey Zip Drive. Joey Cipriano moves into 2nd, car number 51. Anthony Bello drops back to 3.
That 51 car is a new team this year for Cipriano, and they've had a couple appearances at Stafford. Both times they've been fast. In fact, he led some laps in one of our Open 80s earlier this season. Cipriano runs 2nd, trying to reel in Pastriak. We talked about Stephen Kopsick, Ben. He started 9th. He's already up to 6th.
He is a mover and a shaker in this one. Back up front. bid for the lead. Cipriano pulled out of line, took a peek at the inside. No room this time. Here comes Anthony Bello. Keep your eyes on Kopsik, car number 1. He's coming from the rear of the field, reeling him in. If he gains more spots on the racetrack than anyone else, he'll be starting in the preferred spot up front in the main event.
Top 5 cars qualify for the benefit of the starting lineup. The more cars you pass, the further up you start. 3 laps in, it'll be 4 laps in out of 10 this time by. Pastriak making his second appearance at Stafford this year in the 5 car after running his Uncle Carl 75 earlier this year. That 5 car looks pretty good so far, holding a 2 car length lead.
He's running a picture-perfect line. He's driving like he knows this track like the back of his hand. Meanwhile, Joey Cipriano, he was fastest in the second round of practice. He's showing a lot of muscle and potential in that brand new ride, car number 51. Here comes Kopsik, the number 1 car, the Wanek machine, taking a peek at position number 5. That is where he needs to be. That's Buddy Charette from Woodstock, Connecticut. Kopsik right there. Here he comes, Monza. They almost touch as they come together off turn 4.
Kopsik wiggled a little bit coming off of turn 4, but hung on to it and is still right on that 28's back bumper. He's one of our biggest movers, if not the biggest mover in this heat, but he's running 6th. So in the big picture, it doesn't really mean much because he won't be able to transfer.
He's got the low line already dialed in turns 3 and 4, but that's not where he needs to be in 1 and 2. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Pastriak. Second is Cipriano. Bello is in 3rd in the comfort zone. Then it's Goodale in the 4th spot. Now, all of a sudden, here comes Buddy Charette, and here comes Kopsik again. Kopsik runs the chrome horn across the back of the I-beam bumper of the Buddy Charette machine. Do or die time. They come off the turn. They touch. Kopsik loses about a car length and a half.
He doesn't have much time. The white flag is out this time by for Chris Pastriak. Steven Kopsik has got to reel Buddy Charette in from a car length behind, and he's only got 2 opportunities to do it if he wants to get in the top 5.
Keep your eyes on Kopsik. He sees an opening on the bottom. Meanwhile, Buddy Charette closes the door. 2 turns left to be the big starter. Up front or be left out of the top starting spot. They come off the turn. They swing to the right. They swing to the left. But the story is Pastriak to take down the win. Joey Cipriano to finish in 2nd. Anthony Bello for 3rd. Goodale will finish in the 4th position. Buddy Charette will take the final transfer spot. And who misses it by 1?
Steven Kopsik finishes 6th. So close to getting to Charette, but just couldn't quite pull alongside him. A couple close calls along the way, but the 1K finishes in 6th. Frank Latoile Jr. finishes 7th. Vin Anglaise finishes 8th, and Andrew Sharon rounds out the 9-car heat.
Well, our 3rd and final qualifying round is scheduled to come on to the arena in just a moment. Starting at the point, one of the regular runners here in the SK Modified division, driving the Fowler's Auto Wrecking. David Etheridge prepared, number 25. From East Hampton, Connecticut, Anthony Flannery will start at the point.
Starting 2nd is the Bear Motorsports, number 14. The driver from North Haven, Connecticut. The driver is Marcello Rafrano.
Then we go to car number 77. This, of course, the 77 of Matty Gallo out of Berlin, Connecticut, in the CrossFit Equipment Services car.
Outside of row 2 is the Montanari Fuel 55 Connecticut. From Danbury, Connecticut, it's Teddy Hodgson.
And then we go to the number 58 Connecticut. Nice to see him back here at Stafford. From Uncasville, Connecticut, it is Joey Gaeta.
One of our former winners this year starts in 6th. In the 10A Avery Construction car from Belchertown, Massachusetts, it's Glenn Reen.
Watch this driver come from the 7th starting spot. The Hummel's Hot Dog, John Hummel. Eddie Flemke prepared car for Corey DiMatteo out of Farmington, Connecticut.
And closing out the 8-car field is the Stewart's Automotive Baldwin 7NY. The driver from Wolcott, Connecticut, it's Michael Christopher Jr. in a nice throwback paint scheme to Tom Baldwin Sr.
It sure is. That's the original color combination to the very first car that Tom Baldwin Sr. had. And he was so proud of that color combination. And, of course, a spark of interest here as we go to a throwback. 2x2 and side by side, they're set to do battle. Marcello Rafrano, who's been on a hot streak in our SK Modified division here at Stafford, in the Bear Motorsports machine. Bear Colaccio, think of how many drivers that have sat behind the wheel of that particular number and that white colored car with that bare paw print on the back of the automobile. Get ready. It's showtime. Final chance to move to the big dance in this one. Let's see what's going to happen. Anthony Flannery on the inside. Standout short track driver. Marcello Rafano, they wind it up tight.
Both rows pushing hard in turn one, but Rafano gets a great jump and pulls out ahead of Flannery on the outside. And now Teddy Hodgson looks to do the same to take second away from that 25.
Teddy Hodgson had the fastest car in the final round of practice. Hodgson running on rails. His dad is a jet pilot. But it is Hodgson who's looking like a rocket, 3 wide at the back of the field. Everybody is in a hurry to get to the front of the class in this one. 5 is the magic number, currently setting in the 5th position, and it is a close one as they come off the turn and rumble back to the line. It is a great battle going on with Glenn Reen setting there with car number 10A.
Reen now moves underneath Flannery for 4th after DiMatteo scooted past the 25 to take 3rd.
Look up front.
Teddy Hodgson moves to the inside of Rafano and quickly takes the lead.
Hodgson, like he was shot out of a bow. Car number 55. The Montanari fuel machine just fueled up and took over the lead. Marcello Rafano drops back to 2. Here comes the hot dog car. The Hummels machine up to 3, car number 11. Meanwhile, Reen is in position number 4. And guess who moves into position number 5? Michael Christopher. Meaning what, Bonza? How many cars did he pass?
He's passed 3 cars so far. One of our drivers in this heat actually did not make it, and that's Joey Gate in the 58. Not sure what happened to him. So we got 7 cars in this heat. The biggest mover is Teddy Hodgson, who started in 4th and is pulling away out in front now.
He certainly has a car that looks like a rocket at the front of the field. 5 of 10 laps are down. Hodgson out in front. Behind him, here comes Marcello Rafano. He's got a car that gets a bite to the bottom. But here comes DiMatteo. Reels in on the back bumper. Takes a peek to the outside. Car number 11 is not done yet as they head down the backstretch.
The first time we've seen Corey DiMatteo in an open car this year at Stafford. The last time that 11 raced here, Ed Flemke drove it in his final modified race. Now DiMatteo looks underneath Rafano in the battle for second with 3 laps to go in the heat.
There's no question. They almost touch. They cling together. They come off the turn. Marcello Rafano quick on the gas. Here comes Glenn Reen. 3 cars contending for the same airspace. Reen slides to the inside. DiMatteo drops back to position number 4. The clock is ticking. Here comes the crossover move as they work the magic off turn 2.
Oh boy, that is really tight through 1 and 2. DiMatteo made a nice crossover in turn 4, but didn't have enough bite off of 2 to try and get Reen back. So Glenn Reen moves up to 3rd, DiMatteo in 4th, Mike Christopher Jr. in 5th with 1 lap to go.
There's no question about it. Reen's got a rocket like he has had before here at Stafford. Dan Avery's race car is hooked up tonight. Meanwhile, DiMatteo setting back in 4th. 1 turn left to pull it off. Teddy Hodgson will take down the impressive victory. He'll pick up the most spots in this transfer. Marcello Rafano is 2nd. Glenn Reen, an impressive run for 3rd. And Corey DiMatteo for 4th. Bonza, who gets that final and important 5th position?
The 7NY of Michael Christopher Jr. He rounds out the top 5. Anthony Flannery, who started up in the pole position, finishes 6th. And Matt Gallo, who fell off the pace, will round out the 7-car field. And that'll do it for our heat races tonight. The Open Modifieds will prepare for 80 laps later today in the Lincoln Tech Open 80.
They sure will. And, of course, if you have been with us on a regular Friday night program, or if you've been watching on FloRacing, you know that the regular divisions that compete here at the Stafford Motor Speedway are the best divisions when it comes to providing great excitement. Tonight, their starting positions have been determined as the top 18 eligible cars in points were pre-qualified for the feature event here at Stafford.
For those who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for tuning in. If you want to see the rest of the action, go to FloRacing. And for those who are watching on FloRacing, stay tuned. The features are